All right, it's Nate again, and today I want to talk about noise reduction technology. The most common ones from the 80s all the way up into the late 90s, and today, which cassette decks you get today, there's really no, most of them have no kind of noise reduction technology. So yeah, but first, first let me give you guys a look at my cassette decks I purchased, over the last year or so, and each of them I bought because they have some unique noise reduction technology in them. Now, most of us are familiar if you listen to cassettes, Dolby noise reduction. That's the most common and widespread technology used. However, early on there was a DBX, again similar to Dolby, and later on Pioneer did something even more interesting. They use digital signal processing (DSP) to reduce noise on cassette tapes. So, with noise reduction, it's always a question whether or not you need it or not. Well, for most recordings, you don't need noise reduction if you're using a good, well-serviced deck and you're using high-quality cassette tapes. Now, this is a VHS tape, so this is would be similar to like a metal tape because the audio you get out of VHS is very, very good. So if you have those two things going for you, you don't generally need any noise kind of noise reduction technology. So quick overview for noise reduction technology. I'm gonna start with this Pioneer S99WR. It's from the mid 80s. So I bought this one because it has DBX noise reduction. So DBX is similar to Dolby in that they're both compounding technologies, meaning that they would take audio of a certain input level, compress it down, and record it on the tape. And when they play back the tape, you expand it out. So DBX, in my opinion, was a better noise reduction technology. It just gave you much better dynamic range. I think the dynamic range of it was from 0 to 92 decibels. That's about city quality. Like I think Dolby, the initial Dolbys were somewhere around like some up to 60 decibels. But in any case, both Dolby and DBX did a pretty decent job of getting rid of the the noise or the hiss on the cassette tape. The next one I want to look at is this Pioneer 606DR. So all the DR series you make use of digital signal processing, which is kind of strange because it takes the analog signal from the cassette, digitizes it, and then cleans up the noise. It probably does some other things there, but cleans up, removes the noise, the tape hiss, and then converts it back into an analog signal and sends it out to the line out. And it works really well. Even with using a Type 1 tape and you put it in there, almost all the hiss is eliminated. Unfortunately, you can't turn it off with this deck. Otherwise, I could do some A/B testing and get a real feel for it. It's just always on, and it's always on because it just works really well. All right, so we all know noise reduction technology gets rid of audio hiss, but that's kind of a side effect of most noise reduction. For example, DBX and Dolby, the advantage is being able to take high dynamic range audio and record it on a cassette, which normally couldn't handle that dynamic range, and then being able to play it back with that dynamic range. The noise reduction aspect of it is just kind of like a side effect. Unlike this DSP noise reduction, and with current cassette high-end, well, I won't say high-end, but decent cassette decks you could buy, like the TAC 1200. So they use, for noise reduction, they don't use Dolby. Instead, they use this dynamic noise reduction circuit. So dynamic noise reduction doesn't require you to do any kind of encoding and decoding on the tape itself. It just uses this ICs and cleans out the noise. This works pretty well because when I combine this DNR circuit, $20 DNR circuit, with this uh, you know, generally cheap cassette deck from the about 10, 12 years ago, the sound quality, it comes close to this Pioneer using Type 1 cassettes. So, quick wrap up, noise reduction technology, should you use it? It depends. if you're using Type 2 tapes with a well-serviced cassette deck, you don't need to. Especially, essentially, if you want to get the best audio, then you would, use VHS tapes on a decent VHS player. That's gonna beat any one of these decks hands down. However, if you take in digital content and you're trying to get it onto one of these cassette tapes, so for example, high quality lossless audio, and for some reason you want to put it on a cassette to listen to, then definitely employ noise reduction, Dolby S or DBX, because they would allow the full dynamic range of the audio to be placed on a Type 2 tape. Now, why am I not mentioning Meta Type 4? Because you can't really get Meta tapes anymore, right? So these you could buy, Type 1s you could buy. So let's work with what we have here. And all right, so that's it for today. And next time, hopefully, I will take a look at recording high quality MP3s onto these analog cassettes, and we'll see, give you guys an initial view of that whole project. All right.